Alright there guys, Sowerz here with a question and answer video that I said I would do in the last commentary, and I basically posted out on Twitter for some questions from you guys, and I got a few decent questions in, so I'm going to try and answer them the best I can. But meanwhile, the gameplay in the background is from League Play, which is a pretty good watch, so yeah, thought I'd stick that in the background for you guys. But yeah, I'm going to get straight into this, and just before I do start, you know, there's been a few developments team-wise for me. I won't be with the Visions guys, and any of those guys that I teamed with at I-Series, just for certain decisions that I wanted to. Basically, we just wanted to split ways for certain reasons, but we won't go into them. But I will have a team sorted soon. I've got a couple of players already, so we're just waiting for a few things before we can move a bit further with that. But like I say, I'll probably tweet out as soon as things are sorted, and hopefully the sooner things get sorted, the better. But yeah, I'll get straight into the questions just to clear that up. And the first question came from Callum's on Twitter, asking how I got into competitive gaming and which game did I start on. I did, in my previous Q&A I kind of mentioned this, but I'll mention it again. And I might do a video on this actually, you know, one day, like how I got started and maybe go into my gaming history. But I actually started out on Forza Motorsport when it came to competitive. Me and Luke set up Squadron Recon, and we were actually a racing team before we moved into Call of Duty, and you know, we used to race with the top racers, some of the likes like Davey Skills, if you've heard of him before, or Stune, who's in Dignitas. I don't know if they're still in Dignitas, but yeah, I started off on racing games. Luke was admittedly better than me, but I was still pretty good. And then I moved on to Halo, Halo 3, which I played a lot online, but I never really took anything serious, never went to LAN, and it was Call of Duty 4 which really, like, I first started playing true competitive, in terms of going to events, things like that. And my first event was obviously X League TV actually, and then I went to the XLs after that. So Call of Duty 4 was where I first went to LAN. I pretty much started playing Call of Duty from that point when it was released. But yeah, I did play other games before that, so I've got a bit of a background experience on racing games, a bit of Halo as well. But Call of Duty is where I first started going to LAN events, things like that, and you know, I've never looked back since really. Call of Duty is just where it's always been at for me. It just felt like the game that I felt I was most skilled on in some ways, and just, I don't know, yeah, just enjoyed it the most really. But yeah, hopefully that answers that one. But next question comes from Joe. I don't even know how to say this. Joe. I'm not even going to try and attempt to say it, but I believe he's Spanish. Oh, there we go. Here we go. That's his name. Pedro Gomez. Did you enjoy watching Frag Cup 4 with Scorestreaks? Now, Scorestreaks, you know, I've made videos on Scorestreaks before, and I've said, you know, I'm not a big fan of them being a competitive gaming, and I'm still not. I don't think they add anything worthwhile to, like, the gameplay. They add a bit of strategy, like you have to time your hellstorms, things like that, by the seams of it, from what Americans are using. But if, you know, I'm planning on going MLG next year, and if I do, I'm going to have to put up with it, and, you know, it's not something, you know, you can play a League Play and you still enjoy it, and when you watch Frag Cup 4, it's not as bad as people think, you know. I've talked to some of the Americans about it, and the idea that they have is it's going to help the scene grow, and, you know, and I can see how it could if the MLG would market the game in the right way, the right people were involved. And at the same time, it doesn't actually ruin the gameplay as much as I might have thought, because they have restricted some of the kill streaks, and they've restricted certain things. They've not just said you can have any score streak, and there isn't UAV jammers flying everywhere, things like that. It does look playable, if I'm being honest. It does look playable, but at the end of the day, the community that, you know, we're based in, we're not just going to put out a rule set that the whole community is against. It's as simple as that. I think a lot of people in the community don't understand that, okay, score streaks are bad, but they're not going to massively change the results in terms of the top teams that are top teams now will still be the top teams, even with score streaks. They're not huge game changers. They're gonna change the odd result here or there at LAN, no doubt about it. But the amount of benefits that could bring with score streaks in terms of Activision and Treyarch support could be massive for the scene. And people think it just benefits the top players, but it's not necessarily completely true. You know, it's going to bring a lot more funding to a lot more teams outside of the top 8, because usually you only get the top 8 getting full funding really. But then you'll find as the scene grows, more and more sponsors and companies will be coming in, and there's more and more opportunities for a lot of players who deserve it. I mean, like I say, it's only the top 8 teams that are getting certain rewards at the moment, organisation wise, but if the scene did grow, then it'd spread obviously outside of the top 8, but at the same time I completely understand why the community is like thinking the way it is about it, because Deserter is known as a competitive community. That's why people move from game battles to it. That's why people join Deserter, because we're seen as a rule set and a community with the best competitive settings going. So it's kind of contradictory to say we should try Scorestreaks, but at the same time, until the community kind of understand those points, we can't really put Scorestreaks in. I've had a lot of people saying to me, oh yeah, Scorestreaks, oh yeah, they're not actually that bad, watch Fag Cup 4 and it looks pretty good. But that's not the opinion of everybody, and at the end of the day, as a rules council, we do try and put out the best rules, and we've got to listen to the community on this one. I mean, if the community came out in numbers and the majority wanted Scorestreaks, then we probably would put them in. It's just what it is at the moment. It's a case of most people don't want them, and there's bonuses to having them and bonuses to not having them. At the end of the day, the community don't want them, so yeah. The next question comes from Kyle Redfern. His Twitter is @Shadows. How did you get from playing scrims to being considered a professional, and any tips? Well, like I said when I started out at Squadron Recon, and this kind of ties in with another question from Vocal IB, and he asked, what's the best way to start a team? And, when you're scrimming with a team, a lot of people make team changes when they first start out because they think, oh, I'm better than my teammates, or people just think that's the way to go, changing your team. If you're not winning, then it's because the team doesn't work, so let's change the team. But what I did with my brother when we started out is we got a bunch of players who we all got on with. We were really good friends out of game, the kind of people that we knew we'd get along with, and we had the same ambitions. We'd all started out at the same time playing Call of Duty. We're all on a similar skill level, and we stuck together for almost about 2 years with Squadron Recon. We built up a good name, in the game battle scene and what eventually became Deserter. And we stuck together, we worked hard, we improved as a team together, we helped each other out. That's what I think is the best way to start a team, because you've got to get a team of people with the same ambitions. Learn together, learn as a team. Working things out is the way to go. Changing rosters isn't always the way, because you might lose a match, but it isn't because your teammates aren't good enough. It's just because maybe you're doing certain things wrong. You're not pushing the right areas, you're not holding spawns properly, little things like that. It's little things that can be worked on until you do work on those things, and then you see no improvement at all. That's when maybe you should think of team changes. But people just rush into it, they skip the steps of what makes a good team. So my best advice overall for trying to make it pro and for starting a team at the same time, you've got to get people who are on the same skill level as you, same ambitions as you, and people you get on with. You've got to grow as a family in some ways. You've got to help each other out. That's the way. That's the best way to improve your game and improve your teammates' game. So that's the best advice I can give on that. It's not easy to get teammates like that, I know, but that is definitely the best way to do it. That's how I did it, and it worked perfectly for me. Somebody's asked, how much money do you make from YouTube and Twitch, and also how much would the likes of KSI get? Now, the big YouTubers, you get people saying they make this much, that much, but the big YouTubers like KSI, Syndicate, they make ridiculous sums of money, and we're talking like over 6-figure salaries a year, and not just 100,000, a year, a lot more than that. I won't be surprised if KSI's making about $1 million a year, maybe more. Syndicate's around that, I think, as well. But in terms of what I make, I don't make a lot of money from YouTube. I mean, we only recently got partnered, so we can't really say just yet. Twitch, I'm not actually partnered on there yet, so I don't make any money from streaming. I stream for the people that want to watch it, people that want to pick up some tips and just enjoy watching Call of Duty at the highest level. That's why I stream at the moment. I don't do it for the money. Anybody who's doing it for the money, that's up to them, but that's not the reasons I play, and that's not the reasons why I do it. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy helping other people out. It's good when you get messages off people saying, oh, I like your channel because it helps me out and it's really improved my game, things like that. So yeah, that's the reasons I do it. People have different motives for doing it, but I just enjoy doing it, really, and doing montages, things like that. It's always good to do. But there is some more questions, guys, but I know the gameplay's come towards the end now, so I will end it there. But yeah, thanks for watching this, guys. Hopefully some of those questions were Kind of the usual questions you usually get, but hopefully you enjoyed the answers there. Please drop the video a like, and like I say, once I sort my team out, there'll be lots more content to come, so please be patient. I know a lot of you are asking me to upload a lot more, but don't worry about it. Once I sort a team, there'll be lots of good content for you guys to watch, so yeah, stay tuned for that. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.